We made it. Everybody's coming back on.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah.
And hey, Diana, thanks for, I didn't know how to, tell my color family, like what I was gonna do. So thanks for telling me that.
You're welcome.
I don't always know what questions I should ask.
All right. I think we got just about everybody back on.
Where's the other one?
Okay. Does everybody have theirs glued down?
Oh, glued.
So once you have them glued down, then you have options. So you can start handwriting verses on there, or
Oh, it's already pinned.
What?
It's already pinned, Mom.
yeah.
It says remove pin right there.
Okay. So what I have chosen to do with some of these that are really busy, that I know if I write on them, I'm probably going to be disappointed in their visibility. So I just happen to have, these are from a project a while back that just have little verses on them. So I am just going to use some of those because they are on a white background. And that's why in the event list, I told you guys, if you've got kind of old Valentine cards or scriptures, anything like that, that's on a white background, you can use in your Bible quilting whenever you've got such a busy pattern, but you still want to use it.
Like the screen.
So what I did is I cut one of those verses apart, so then I could just get it to fit on there. And now I've lost it. It'll show up. My other idea for you is, if you don't have the kind of decorative paper that you want, I'm going to hold that up really close. You can make your own. So that is just white paper, and then I just use one of my markers and I just did polka dots all over it. So you don't have to go all fancy and do that. You can make your own. My other little trick for that type of thing is, if you want a little bit of a background color around the edges, is you can use a stamp pad and just brush it around there, and that will give you an outline. So if you compare that to this other one, it'll just give you a little touch of color. Can everybody see that? Did you pin this video? I'll put it back up here. That same technique for the stamp pad, you can do that on the edges of your template too.
Diana, can you see that?
Can you see that? Let me do it up here. Just very lightly, just around the edges, and that's just going to give you a little blush of color all the way around there.
Am I on mute? No. Diana,
Yes.
can you see this?
Okay, let me pin it. Let me pin it so it'll get big for everybody. Yes. That is another way to do it, is to put your, did you put your patterns down and then do the outline around it?
It's a roller stamp,
Okay.
and I just rolled it along the edge instead of using washi tape.
Fancy.
I've had this stamp since before Katie was born. I really wanted to use it.
I'm glad you finally found a use for it. That's how I'm all about. Use what you have. Cookie cutters also work. Did you use cookie cutters when you were doing yours too? Yes. Okay, I'm going to go back to pin this over here. You can also use stamps, and I have shared this before. These are some of my favorite stamps because when you get them, they're all just individual letters, but they click together. So I went ahead and found them all and clicked them together so they spell out "so loved." Because in this, I think I'm going to put it up here on the pink where it's just a solid background. I'm going to write around it to do John 3:16.
Diana,
Yes.
I got some like that we were just showing, but they don't click together. Do you know if they still make them or have them? The ones that
Sorry,
click together?
we did find some online. I think in the post that I did for my favorite supplies, I think I found the Amazon link for that. And I recently had a neighbor friend that she found some.
Awesome.
Again, I've had these a really, really long time. So, so any stamp that you use, my tried and true method, because I've made a lot of mistakes, is you press straight down and then straight back up. You don't want to rock it back and forth because it'll pick up the little, just has a way of picking up the little extra stuff there.
Right there.
Yeah, put it on that one. Yeah, that's not that one.
You know what? I actually found, I'm gonna do that again because I found another verse. So that's John 3:16, but also 1 John 4:11 has God so loved us. So I'm going to do that one also, but maybe I will do a different color. And I always test mine on scratch paper because you never know if you've like messed up your D's and your B's. So I'm just going to stamp that for now, and then I will come back later and add the words in around it. And there was one other stamp that I was going to try. I just happen to have this one that says God is love. And again, I'm going to choose to put it on one of mine that doesn't have a whole lot of activity already going on. And this is a standard wooden block. The disadvantage to these is you can't exactly know where it's going to land, which is why those acrylics are so fun to have. And I think I'm going to do that same color. Okay. Hang on a second. All right, you see my picture back again? That's what happens when you use your phone, but it's, hang on a second. I didn't have any of this stuff figured out before the pandemic, so we have learned a lot. Okay, hope I'm not making you dizzy.
But that was my old Bible clip.
Okay. All that for a sales call. Okay, but I need to pin it back on here.
I did.
Do you guys have some verses that you have picked out?
I already did my verse.
Awesome. What verse did you use?
You know, he did not do one on love. He did Matthew 5:16.
You want to show us?
Gonna show him? Here, take it up here.
I know how to get there quick.
Got it, got it. There you go. You have to take that.
Okay, Rooks, you want to bring it closer so we can see it? Got to get himself all organized.
I gotta lift it up.
Oh, yes.
Yay.
With all your stickers.
Oh, yeah.
You're learning how to print really nicely. I love it. He's got.
He's had this notebook going since he was what, 2? And I was writing him in and he was just putting stickers on.
Yes, I love
Right.
that. That's a great
Memorized.
example, you just jump in whatever their age is and adapt for them.
So now whenever the girls and I Bible quilt, he says, "Oh, I want to too." And he always pulls his Bible verse book out.
I love it.
We'll
That's
have to
cool.
No. This kind, how about no?
Okay, so while you guys are adding your verses, I want to make sure that I cover this part because this part is tricky. So we want to make this look like a quilt, and quilts have all of those squares. So we're actually going to divide up our page into those quilt squares, which involves a ruler and a little math.
Oh, no, not
I
Matt.
know.
It's been too long.
So I'm just going to tell you what it is for this regular template. It's a 6.5 by 9.5. So we are going to divide it. What I decided to do that I was going to do a 3 1/4 on each end, and then 3 in the middle. And then on the sides, it's just going to be 3 1/4, 3 1/4. So if you use your ruler and line it up and find 3 1/4 and make just a little mark on each end of the page, then that's going to give you a guide for going all the way across.
I did this and it was covering it, so I'm like, oh.
And you can use a pencil if you want, or you can be bold and just go straight for the marker. What you want to do is you want to stop before you get to any of your cute hearts. So we're just going to draw a line on the white space on the paper behind it. Okay. So you've got your marker on either side. And that's where you line up your ruler. And then I'm just going to use a simple little line, and we'll make it fancier later. So then that divides the page in half. So now I have a top and I have a bottom. And while we were on break a while ago in between, I went ahead and I did my grids on this other side. So at 3 1/4 is the first mark on both sides of the paper, and then you line up your ruler, and then wherever there's white space, you're just going to draw a little line. And then you're going to come to the next one. So this middle one is 3 inches across. And line it up there, and then you're just going to make your mark just on the white paper behind it.
3 inches on this, every 3 inches.
Now, if it's easier for you to see that, you could go ahead and decide what stitch you want to do and have that really, really bold. If you go to the one that I have pinned, I just did a zigzag. Let me steal it really quick. So I just did a zigzag all the way around, and that just kind of gave it a uniform look and made it look all quilty. This one, I might do X's because that's kind of bold, and it's also fairly simple to go all the way around. And let me switch my pens. I'll show you what that looks like, and that way you can choose between them if you want to use one of those. This kind of reminds me of cross stitch. I did one cross stitch with my grandma when I was about 11, and never again.
Oh, I love it. I wish my
I
hands
think it
could
was-
work so I could do it.
Yeah, I think it was just I didn't have the opportunity. I didn't live by her. So for now, I'm just going to do those X's around one, and that way you can see how that looks. From this point on, what you want to do is decide what those background colors are going to be in each of those squares. And I played around with this earlier. If you can see this, that I can do some purples. If I just chose like 2 background colors, then I'm going to have 3 squares of each color. Here comes Patty. If I want to do 3 colors, then I'm going to have just two squares in that color, if that makes sense. And then like for this one, I showed it like that's just like on a diagonal. You kind of have to pretend that those squares are continuing and how you would see them.
I don't like this. These two have one.
Did I confuse you? Or you got it? Think you got it? Let me just go ahead and I won't do the whole thing, but I will put enough color in there so you can see what mine would look like. So I think I'm going to go with 3. So it would be that top left corner. And then, where's my little cheat sheet? To the middle bottom. And we were talking about color families and color palettes earlier. Because I had those already picked out and I went with that bold pattern, it matches. So then you pretend that continues to go, and that will be my first color. And then I think because I've already got some purples on there, I'm going to do polka dots on the next one.
Mom, it's a little word.
No rhyme or reason, you just kind of polka dot them all around. And the
Do
fun
you
thing
use
about,
marker or colored pencil?
I would probably do marker because it's going to show up a little bit better. And you think it's not going to show up too much until you get them all on there, and then it just all of a sudden kind of takes effect, so you can see that. And then you would have the option, if that's not enough color for you, then you can just do a really pale lavender or something, and it would just stand out a little bit more.
You're not actually coloring it in, you're just dotting.
I'm dotting. That's a very official term. That's what I'm doing now. I would have the option of shading over my dotting later if I decided I wanted it to be a little bit more bold.
Gotcha.
So Diana, while you're doing that, I have the smaller template that I'm
Okay.
using. And I just noticed that you did yours in 6. And I had lined mine off for 9.
Yep.
For 9. Should I make it 6 instead?
No. You're going to go with whatever size works for you. So this is an 8.5 by 11. This is the monthly. This gave me 12.
Right. So I have the smaller one.
Mine is 6. That's the regular. So what size is yours?
The 6. I mean the smaller. So I should do the 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
What size is your paper? Do you have your ruler?
It's the size that you said to cut it in. So 6.5
So 6.5 by 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah. So you're gonna do it that way.
The 2. I mean the 6.
Yeah.
6 squares.
Yeah.
Okay.
2
Gotcha.
rows of 3.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Thanksgiving, actually.
Okay. So,
Maybe you watching something.
what else do I want to show you? You could also, since this is a heart pattern, you can decide that you just want to do hearts all over this other one. And again, you can add more color in the background later if you want to do that. Sometimes with my pages, I like to start simple and be able, to kind of get it finished, but be able to walk away and come back and look at it and decide, yeah, I need to add some more color. You can't take away the color. You can always add more to it. So I'll go back in later and I will shade in these hearts, and you would, if you do the hearts, you would have the option of coloring them in different colors if you wanted to, or you could do them all the same. And then it would be pretty easy to shade in the background also. Again, it depends on how elaborate you want your page to be. So we're not going to have time to finish our pages tomorrow, but I added a show and tell session for us tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 my time. So if you guys want to finish your pages and come back in tomorrow, then that'll give us a chance to share how we finish them off. And then if you have any other questions, we can do that. So for mine, I would add some more color and I would finish out these other hearts and add some verses. And then what do you do with it? So your options, we haven't even played with washi tape, but you could very easily do a washi tape border around the edges if you wanted to, or on any of these squares when you put it into your journal. So girls that have the ABC journal, if you don't have something on the back side of your L page, you could flip to that and you could do L is for love and put that in your ABC journal. Or you can, this is a new one of the original ones that I am starting. And it has the fruits of the spirit printed on there already. And it has a love page. So I wouldn't put it over that, but I could put it on there and add my washi tape. But before I put that down, because some of you may not know how to put the templates on there. Does anybody not know how to do that yet? You guys have gotten quiet. You're all working on your stuff.
You told me just to glue it, and you told me just to glue it in my journal with a glue stick.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do that because I think this is where it's going to land. But since it is Valentine's, you may want to have it on display. So I found these at the dollar store the other day. These are just some of those plain acrylic frames. You could slide your page in there. And then you could just have that on your kitchen counter. It would be protected, but it would be a way to share Bible verses, out as part of your regular decor. And everybody see that?
Yeah.
And the fun with this is I just put one of my decorative pages, my scrapbook pages behind. I slid the template in there, and then you can add washi tape or stickers on the outside of it. And then for the next holiday, you could just, like for Easter, you could do an Easter background and Easter stickers for that.
You are so clever.
You could also, I don't know where that went. You could also just slide it into a page protector. I had one of these set up a while ago, but you could put it in a page protector. And then just take some ribbon and tie your ribbon on each of these holes. So that would make an automatic hanger. And you could just hang it on a doorknob or somewhere like that. So there are things that you can do with your templates before you put them into your journal. But I'm going to go ahead and commit to this page because Kate needs to see this in action. Very fancy. Elmer's glue stick. We are highfalutin here.
And thank you.
I've gone through a lot of glue sticks, and I usually just try to get it on there fairly evenly. And what this allows you to see, a while ago when I was playing with that ink pad, see how it already has a little bit of a color border. So if you wanted to leave it like that, you could. And you just press that down.
I like to use these little glue runners too.
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
several different kinds, but they're really handy. They really stick.
Yeah, they really stick. The Elmer's glue sticks, they're a little more forgiving. So if you decide, I need to move this over a little bit, you can still do that.
Yeah.
This is another little tip. I use embroidery
Oh,
hoops
sweet.
to put my washi tape on, and I have quite a collection right now. So I have this one that just has all my Valentine colors on it.
This is how I have mine
Pinks and hearts.
in long little
Hang on a
vases.
second, so I can pin that so we can see. Oh yeah. And some people get like the plastic dividers.
Oh,
Like
that's a good
Becky,
idea too.
I think Becky has hers that way. So you can decide how many edges that you want to do your washi tape around. And you just trim off the edges. But I also want to show you how to do a tab. So because it's all about hearts tonight, I cut out a heart out of another piece of cardstock. And again, you use your very fancy glue stick. You want to get probably about a 2/3 of the way because you want to leave some of it peeking up over the edge so that you'll be able to see what the title is. Now that is a really dark piece of cardstock that I found. But if you want to use it, then again, you use your little, you trace it and you can make a smaller heart. And I just use some of that same paper. So I'm going to add that on there. And that's what I'm going to write on. Because if I wrote on the other, you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay. So that is basically it. And then you can just embellish with stickers. You can make bolder colors, of the background if you wanted to. This just has love on it. That may be kind of hard to read, but it does say love on it. And then I went through my stickers and I only had one left that has love. So I'm probably going to write a verse and then use that on it. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left according to that. So I'm probably not going to have time to do that. But that will give you the idea of how to use stickers. I like to use those kind of in the middle of my handwritten ones because it just kind of accentuates that word that you want to highlight for your page. And I can only write love so many different ways. So if you've got stamps, if you've got stickers, then you can just mix it up a little bit that way. That makes sense. Trying to think of what other little trick I had for you. We need to have another door prize, don't we? Melody.
Hey,
I like
how about
this.
that?
Do that.
Okay. Do you have a Bible quote calendar yet?
I don't have a calendar, no.
Okay, I'm going to send this to you.
Oh,
So you can back up and do whatever you want to January, but I thought I had sent out all of my calendars. This is my last one. I had it on display for Christmas and I thought I'll just do it as a door prize. So
awesome.
I will send that to you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we're going to do another of the, let's do the Mother's Heart template. Janice,
Oh,
you are back.
Yeah.
yay.
I'll send you that same Mother's Heart template.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, grand prize.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Okay, Laura and Katie are out of it because you already have one. Becky, do your girls have these?
We do.
Okay, so you guys are out of it. So the printer that I use here in town that prints my journals, I had them make some t-shirts for me. And so this is my I am template that's all filled in, one of the very first template pages that I did, and it just has a sweet spot in my heart. This is size large, so hopefully we'll get lucky and it will fit whoever gets it. Oh, she's not on here. All right. Let me roll again.
I finished.
Who do we have on here?
Are you gonna put anything on these?
No,
Sure.
I.
You
Well,
can hold
I
it.
have to find you. Oh, that was 12. But Katie, you already have yours, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'll send you a Mother's Heart. And then who is the next?
Okay, you're gonna send that to Katie?
I'm going to send the Mother's Heart template to Katie. She already has a t-shirt.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
So the next one is Kate.
Oh my.
So I'm not sure what size you usually wear. It might be a little roomy for you. They do shrink a little bit. And what
Okay.
I told Laura, just turn them inside out when you wash them.
All right.
And
Thank you, Diana.
you're welcome.
Wow.
Hey.
Yay. Okay, what questions do you guys have? Where are you at on your pages? Because if we're going to do this kind of thing in the future, I kind of need to know how long to do these for.
I hadn't started, so that's my problem, my fault.
Okay, let
I'm
me
still
put
gluing
through here.
on.
All right, Laura's ready for show and tell. Let me see Laura's. Yeah. How did your grid go?
Oh, pretty.
Mine's smaller than yours, but it works. It's
Yeah. But
around
that's
the,
also a good sample of doing some different sizes of hearts too. Oh, Katie, what's your status there, girl?
I'm done.
Aw.
Thanks.
Awesome.
That's great.
I love it. You got some shimmery middle hearts there, don't you?
Yeah, it's kind of falling out of my hand, but yeah.
Pretty.
Oh, and you were fast. You got it all done.
Yeah. Did you, when you were doing your borders, did you use a pencil and then mark over it and then erase the pencil?
No, I just went straight to pen. You can do it either way. Yeah, and I didn't even finish that on mine. So I think that'll be my next part. I'll go through and just add my little X's all the way around.
Lennox has hers finished.
Okay, let me flip to you so we can see.
Used those watercolor colored, what are they called? Watercolor pencils.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, I love it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you blended those bottom corners, didn't you?
Yeah.
Pretty.
I'm so glad you taught me that
Oh.
technique. I recently played around with that again. I got all bold to try it.
It's so funny that you say that because they were at your house when we used them for the first time.
Uh-huh. Well,
And-
I remember, and she was doing this little, it came with a little sound effect. And I'm like, what are you working
Yes.
on? So for those of you who don't know, you want to hold up your box. So there are watercolor pencils that you can use. And if you'll hold your page up again, Lennox, it'll give you a really cool, see that how it's all muted, gives you that watercolor effect. And I would recommend if you're going to do that, to do it on the page separately from your journal and let it dry. Do you usually have to like press it between something?
No, she actually uses, oh, go ahead, Lennox.
I just used a paper towel that's a little bit damp.
Okay, or
I cut-
baby wipes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you're just very gently go through there and blur it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I just colored straight on the page.
Mhm. So kind of like mine, you just colored in there and then you use the damp paper towel to blend it.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, ladies, I'm seeing that we have less than a minute, so it might cut us off abruptly like it did a while ago. But I am just thrilled you guys were all able to come on here, and you can do a little wave for the replay folks. And like I said, I've got the show and tell time set up on Zoom tomorrow at 2:30 my time, which is Central Time. So if you have a chance to finish your page and want to come back on, we'll just do a little bit more of the show and tell, and we'll answer questions if you end up with some more questions. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'm headed to bed. It's 10 till 10 here.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, it's so hard to pick a time that's going to work for everybody. But I was trying to
That's fine.
coordinate with my Colorado gal and my local crew here. So I will try to record that tomorrow too, if you can't make it. But thank you for staying up late with us.
I would have been up anyway, so that's totally